Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the articulation point using Tarjan's algorithm. In this video I will be showing you how to find all the articulation points in a given graph. So I will be giving some concepts and after that I will be showing the dry run along with the code at the end of the video. So before starting with this video, if you want to know the basics about the Tarjan's algorithm, then you should watch my video on Tarjan's algorithm for strongly connected components. The link for that will be present in the description below. You can check that out. So let us start with this articulation point. Now what is an articulation point? The definition is a node is an articulation point if on removing it the number of component in the graph increases. Let us take this first example. So in this graph there are three nodes 0, 1, 2. If you try to remove this one along with the associated edges, then will this create extra number of components? Initially we had only one component in the graph. So if you remove this one along with the associated edges, then you will be having two components. That is, you will be having two nodes and they will not be connected. So on removing this node 1, you can see that the number of components are getting increased. Therefore 1 can be considered as an articulation point. But if you try to remove this 0 or this 2, then they won't be articulation points, okay, because the number of components will still remain as 1. Now let us look at the second example. In this case, the graph is very similar, but there is only one extra edge from 0 to 2. Now is 1 an articulation point? Well, try to remove this node 1 along with the associated edges. If you do that, then the graph will still be having one component and 0 and 2 will remain as connected. Therefore, the number of components have not increased even after removing this one. So this one cannot be said as an articulation point. Therefore, in this graph, there will be no articulation points. You can also try removing this 0 and 2 and still the number of components will still remain the same. Okay. Now let us look at this graph. In this right hand side graph, is 0 an articulation point? Well, if you try to remove this node 0 along with the associated edges, then still you will be having one component, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4. They will all be connected. And so since the number of components are not increasing, therefore this 0 will not be an articulation point. Now even if you try to repeat this with node 1, it will still be the same. We will still be having one component. So 0 and 1 will not be articulation point. And any leaf nodes will never be an articulation point. So in this case, 4 is a leaf node. It will not be an articulation point. Let us try with this node 2. If you remove this node 2, then you will be forming two components. 0 and 1 will be connected as one component and 3 and 4 will be connected as one component. These three edges will be gone. Okay. So 2 is an articulation point and similarly 3 will also be an articulation point. Therefore, the articulation point in this graph will be 2 and 3. So I hope you are getting the understanding of how to find an articulation point. Now before going into the details of finding articulation point, what is the application for finding the articulation point? Actually, we want to find the single point of failure in a network. So our graph can be considered as a network and we want to find the single point of failure. Because on removing the single point of failure, your network will get disconnected. Okay, so your network will get divided into sub-networks which will not be connected with each other. And therefore, what you will do is, if you find any articulation point in your network, then you will either add more wires in order to cover up this articulation point so that there are no articulation points in the graph. Otherwise, you will completely redesign the network so that articulation points are removed, because you never want a single point of failure, because that will decrease your reliability of the network. So if you can remove this articulation point, then your reliability of the network will also increase. So this is the reason for finding articulation point in a network. So this was one example. Now what is a simple approach in order to solve this problem? Well, if you are given this graph, then what we can do is, we can take each node one by one. Let us take this node 0. Now what we will do? We will try to take out the node and all the passing edges. So let us say we took out this node 0 and all these outgoing edges as well. So when we take them out, we will try to perform a DFS on the entire graph. So we can start at any point. Let us start with this point 1. Then if you perform DFS, you will be traversing this node 1 and node 2. You will not be covering this node 3 and node 4. Okay. So since starting DFS at a node we are not able to cover all the nodes which are remaining in the graph. Therefore, this indicates that there are more than one component in the graph, and since there are more than one component, so on removing this node, the number of components have increased, and so this node can be said as an articulation point. So we will save it in the articulation point vector or anywhere. Okay, so this 0 will be an articulation point. Similarly, we will have to repeat for each and every node one by one, and we will have to perform the DFS on the remaining graph and see if our graph is having one component or multi-component. If we are having only one component, then on removal of a given node, our components did not increase, and so that node will not be an articulation point. Otherwise, if you have multi-component graph, then on removal of a given node, your components increased, and so that node will be an articulation point. So what will be the time taken for this approach? Now in this case, we are actually removing each node one by one. So we have v number of vertices, so v times we will be removing, and each time we remove, we are performing DFS on the entire graph, which will take order of v plus e time. So the total time complexity will be v into v plus e. Okay, so this is the very simple approach for finding all the articulation points in a graph. But how do we improve this time complexity? Now, for doing that, we will have to see some of the observations. Now, let us see some of the conditions in order to find an articulation point. Well, there will be only two conditions, that is two cases. One such case is if node u is the root of the DFS tree and has at least two children, that is two subgraph, then node u will be an articulation point. And how is that possible? Let us look at this example. In this case, u is the root node, okay, and it has two subgraphs, subgraph 1 and subgraph 2. Now since it has at least two subgraphs and u is the root, so if you remove this u, then you can see that this s1 and s2 will no more be connected together, and so you will obviously be having an articulation point as u. So this is case 1. So in this case, the first condition is that u should be a root node, and once it is the root node, it should have at least two children, that is two subgraphs, and then if these two conditions are satisfied, then u will definitely be an articulation point. This is case 1. Now let us look at some examples. Well, I have given some graphs. If you look at graph 1 and if we consider just node 0, then how many children are there for this node 0? Node 0 is having two number of children, and this node 0 is the root node. Therefore, this node 0 will be an articulation point. If you look at this graph 2, this node 0 can be said as a root node, but if you see how many children are there for this node 0, there is only one child, because this 1 and this 2 are connected together. So if you make a DFS call to 1, then 2 will also get traversed. So this entire thing is a single subgraph. A single subgraph of a root node will be considered as a child. So this 1 and 2 will form a single child, and so the child count here for 0 will be equals to 1. Now if you consider this graph 3, then how many child are there for this node 0? For this node 0, there will be two number of children. For this node 0, this is one subgraph and this is another subgraph. So there are two subgraphs for this node 0. Therefore, you will have two number of children. For this graph 4, how many number of children will be there for this node 0? There will be total of 3 children, because we are having 3 independent subgraphs. Okay. Now similarly for this graph 5, this is G5. For this node 0, how many children are there? There are actually one single child. So this is one child. So C count will be equals to 1, because this is a single subgraph. Okay. Now I hope you got the understanding about how we are finding the children or what is a subgraph. So this concept is also very important. Now how to detect the articulation point for this case 1. Let us take two graphs, okay, and now I have written down all the steps for finding the articulation point. Keep the children counter for each node. So in this case, I will just be considering this node 0 for simplicity. Okay. Now in this case, I will initialize number of children as 0 for node 0, and in graph G2 as well it will be 0. Okay. Now on calling DFS on each edge, mark the entire subgraph. So we will call DFS on each of the outgoing edges. So first we will make a call from 0 to 1. When we make a DFS call from this 0 to 1, we will make it visited, we will make this visited. Okay. So 1 and 2 are visited now. So we will increment the child count. Now we will make a DFS call to the second outgoing edge. But in this case, you can see that 2 is already visited. Therefore, this will be in the same subgraph. Okay, so since it is visited, it will be included in the subgraph which we have already visited. So we will not visit it again and we will not increment the child counter. Now we will check for this one, edge 03. Now 3 is not visited, therefore we will increment the child counter and we will visit this 3. So in this case, in this graph for this node 0, number of children will be equals to 2. Now if we consider for this node 0 in graph G2, then we will make a DFS call from 0 to 1. So 1 will be visited. From 1 we will visit 2. From 2 we will visit 3. Now our child will increment by 1 value. Now we will try with the next outgoing edge. You can see that 2 is already visited. And therefore this 2 must have been present in another subgraph which is already visited from this node 0. Therefore we will not visit it again. And the same reason goes for this node 3 as well. Therefore the number of children from this node 0 will be 1. Okay, so the number of children does not mean what is the number of outgoing edges from a given root node. So this is one concept to remember, and this is how we find the number of children. Now once you find the number of children for a given root node, we will see if it is having children count greater than 1. Because if we are having children count greater than 1, then on removing this root node, we will be disconnecting the components like I have shown in this case. In this case, we were having, let's say, 2 subgraphs and that was connected to the root node. So even if we are having more than 2 subgraphs, if we remove this root node, then obviously these components will be formed. Okay, so these components will be newly formed and so our components are getting increased. So this U, that is the root node, will obviously be a articulation point. And that is why in this case as well, if we are at a root node and if child count is greater than 1, then that root node will be an articulation point. So in graph G1, this 0 will be an articulation point, but in graph G2, this 0 will not be an articulation point. Okay, so I hope you will read these points again. So this is very intuitive and this is very simple case. Now this was case 1. Now what about if your node is not a root node? Well, that falls under case 2. Node U is not the root node of the DFS tree and it has a child V such that no vertex in subtree rooted with V has a back edge to one of the ancestors of U. So this might not be very obvious when you read it for once, but I would recommend you to read it at least 5-6 times and think about it in order to get a better understanding. Now I will show you some examples to make this point clear. In this point it is saying that if you are at a node U that is not a root node, in this case I will consider this node 1. Okay, then if you are having at least one subgraph from this node 1 such that there is no back edge from that subgraph to an ancestor of 1, then the given non-root node will obviously be an articulation point. So how does this happen? Actually, if we are at this node 1, then let's say we are seeing this subgraph. Okay, now from this subgraph you can see that there is an edge from 2 pointing to this node 0 which is an ancestor of 1. Well, in this case, and by ancestor I mean it is also including parent of 1. Okay, so there is a back edge to an ancestor of this node 1 as well. Therefore, even if you remove this 1, this subgraph will not get disconnected. This will remain connected to the graph. And so on removing this node 1, it will not contribute to increasing the component with respect to this subgraph. So this will not be an articulation point if you look with respect to only this subgraph. And now we will see the other subgraph. The other subgraph is this one. Now from this subgraph you can see that there is no back edge to an ancestor of 1. And so if you remove this one, then obviously this subgraph will get disconnected and therefore the number of components will increase. So this one will become an articulation point. And that is how this point 2 works. This is the case 2. Okay, so if you look at this second graph, then again if you are at this node 1, it is having just a single subgraph. So this is one subgraph because they are all interconnected. Now from this subgraph there is a back edge starting from this node 4 going to node 0, which is an ancestor of 1, and that is why even after removing this node 1 your components will not increase, and there are no other subgraphs to be explored, and so this one will not be an articulation point. Okay, so I hope you got an idea about this case 2 as well. This is for those nodes which are not the root nodes of the entire graph. So how to detect an articulation point for this case 2? Well, in this case we need to find the order of vertices from the earliest to latest to detect the back edges. So in order to detect back edges, actually we need to assign some timestamp values to mark the nodes with some increasing values. Okay, therefore we can do this by assigning the discovery time. I have already shown the concept of discovery time as well as load time in my previous video on Tarjan's algorithm for strongly connected component. The link will be present in the description below. You can go there and watch all the concepts completely. Now the second point is that we need to maintain the earliest possible node accessible for a given node, which will indicate if we have any back edge. So for that reason we will be using the low value. Okay, so the low value array and the discovery time array will be used. So how does it work? Now let us start from this node 0 and see how it works. So our initial time will be initialized as time equals to 0. Now at this node 0, your discovery time, it is discovered at time 0, and now the earliest possible timestamp node which is reachable from this node is itself, and so it will be assigned a value 0. Okay, and now the timer will increase by 1. So if we go to this node 1, then its discovery time is 1, and the earliest possible node to which we can reach from this node 1 is the node itself. But if you go to this node 2, then you can see that from node 2 you can reach to node 0, which is having discovery time as 0. Therefore we will write discovery time as 0 here. We will not be considering a back edge from a given child node to the parent node. I will be explaining you why in some time. So in this way you can assign time 2 here as well as the lowest, that is the earliest possible timestamp node which can be reachable from this node 2, which will be 0. And then from this node 2 you will make a call to this node 3, which will be assigned a discovery time of 3, and the earliest possible node which is reachable from this 3, which is this 0, it will be 0. Okay, and now when you go back in recursion and again you will make the other call to this 4, its discovery time will be equals to 4, and the earliest possible node to which we can reach from this node 4 will be the node 4 itself, since we will not be considering the parent node. Okay, so in this case you can see that using this low value you can see that there is no back edge for this subgraph if you are at this node 1. So you can say that this node 1 will be an articulation point with respect to this subgraph. So this is how we will be finding if a node is an articulation point if it is not a root node. So this was case 2. Now this is very important point, like edge from child to parent is not a back edge. So if you consider this graph and if you are at this node 1, now if you are finding if this node 1 is an articulation point, then what will you do? Actually we will remove this node 1 and see if the number of components are increasing. So if you are considering the subgraph, there will be two subgraphs, this 2 and 3. Now if you consider for this subgraph 3, then this undirected edge is actually meaning that there is an edge from 1 to 3 and there is also an edge from 3 to 1. But if you consider the low values, which I already explained here, the low value of 4 was equals to 4 and it was not equals to the discovery value of this 1, which is 1. Okay, so this we did not assign because we are checking if the parent is an articulation point. So actually we are assuming that it is getting removed, and that is why we will not be updating the low values of this 3 using its parent, because parent is assumed to have been removed. So we don't care about the edge to parent because parent is gonna get removed for articulation point check, like I had shown in the simple approach. It will not be actually removed, we will just be assuming it to get removed. Okay, now the second point is the child should point to an ancestor and not to parent to qualify to become a back edge. So if this 3 was pointing to, let us say, 0, then this would have been a back edge. From 3 to 1 it will not be considered as a back edge. Okay, so if this is the case, then this subgraph will not be contributing 1 to become an articulation point, and if there was a back edge from 2 to 0 again, then this one would not have been an articulation point. I hope you got this point now. Therefore, we will never be considering the low values using the parent. We will only be checking for ancestors. Okay. Now let us take an example and dry run the entire algorithm, which is the Tarjan's algorithm, in order to get the better understanding. Well, in this case, I will be taking the timestamp value time equals to 0 initially. And let us assume that we will be starting traversal from this node 0. Okay. So when we are at this node 0, then what we will do? We will have to assign the discovery time. Discovery time will be equals to time, and low time will also be equals to time initially. So our timer will increase. Now after updating the timer value, our child count will be equals to 0, because this will be taking care of the case 1. In this case, if the given node is a root node and if it is having more than 2 number of subgraphs, then this node will be an articulation point. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now from this node we will be trying to explore all the outgoing edges. So from 0 there is an outgoing edge to 1. So what will we do is we will increment the child count, because this 1 is not visited. You can see that this is not visited. So we are increasing the child count to value 1 from 0. Now we will make the parent of 1 as 0, because we are reaching to this 1 from this node 0. Now we will make the DFS call to this 1. Now when we reach to this 1, we will update the discovery time to 1, and the lowest possible node, that is the earliest time node to which we can reach from this one, that will also be equals to 1, since we do not know anything about future, and I have already told you that we will not be considering child to parent edge. And now we will increment our timer value. Our child count will be equals to 0 in this case. Now we will explore the outgoing edges from 1. From 1 there is an outgoing edge to 0, but 0 has already been explored, and also the parent of 1 is 0. You can see that parent of 1 is 0. So we won't be doing anything. Now we will explore the other paths. From 1 there is an outgoing edge to 2. So 2 is not explored. You can see that its value is -1. So we will increment the child count, and then we will be making the parent of 2 as 1, because we are reaching to this 2 from 1. So now we can go to this 2. Now when we are at 2, timer value is 2, so we will update the discovery time as well as the low time, and again update the timer value to 3. Now from this 2, I will be assigning this child count equals to 0. Now from 2, there are 2 outgoing edges, so let us first go to this 0. So this 0 is already explored, because discovery value is not -1, and this 0 is not the parent of 2, because parent of 2 is 1. Okay, so this must be an ancestor of 2, and so since 0 is an ancestor of 2, therefore this will be considered as a back edge. Okay, now since this is a back edge, therefore we are able to reach an earlier node from a later node. Therefore the low value of 2 should now get updated. So the low value of 2 will be updated with the discovery time of 0. So discovery time of 0 is 0. Therefore this low value of 2 will now become 0. Okay. So now after exploring this node 0, we will check if this node 2 is an articulation point. So this 2 is not a root node, and this is a non-root node actually. So for a non-root node, the low value of a subgraph of 2 should be greater than equals to the discovery value of 2. Okay, so this point I have already explained, but there is no subgraph of 2. So this will not be an articulation point. Now we will be exploring the other options. Now from 2 there is an outgoing edge to 1, but 1 is already visited and 1 is the parent of 2. So we will not be exploring it. Now again we will be checking if 2 is an articulation point, but it is not an articulation point. So we will backtrack from 2 to this 1. Now at this 1 we have backtracked from 2. So we will now update the low value of 1 with the low value of 2. That is minimum of low value of 1 comma low value of 2. So what will that be? That will be equals to a minimum of this 1 comma 0, which will be 0. Okay. So this will indicate that there is a path to reach to 0 via this 2. So it will be updated to 0. Now before backtracking, we will be checking if this 1 can be an articulation point. So this 1 is not a root node. So case 1 will not be applicable. For case 2, this should be a non-root node. Yes, that is true. And also there should be at least one subgraph which is not having any back edge. But in this case, for 1 there is one subgraph which is this 2, and it is having a back edge to 0, which is an ancestor, and that is why this will not be an articulation point. Again we will backtrack to 0. So when we backtrack to 0, we will be updating the low value of 0. So low value of 0 will be minimum of low value of 0 comma the low value of 1, which is also 0. So this will remain as 0, it will not get updated. Once we backtrack from this node 1, we will check if 0 is an articulation point. For that, we will check for case 1 and case 2. If case 1 is applicable, then case 2 won't be applicable. So in this case, 0 is a root node. And how is that possible? Because the parent of 0 is -1. So this is a root node. Okay. And if this is a root node, then it should be having more than one number of subgraphs. But the child count is equals to 1 till now. And so there are no more than one subgraph which is known for now. Therefore, this will not be a articulation point for now. Now from 0, we will make a call to 2 because there is an edge from 0 to 2. 2 is already visited and discovery time is higher. So this is not a back edge. Now from 0, we can visit to this 3 because this is unvisited. Okay. Now since it is unvisited, we will increment our child count. It will become 2. And the parent of 3 will also become 0. I hope you are understanding it. Now we will make a call to this 3. So when we reach to this 3, then the timer value is 3. So the discovery time is 3 and low value is also 3. Now the timer value will increase to 4. Our child count will be equals to 0 here. Now from 3, we can make a call to this 4 because 4 is unvisited. So before making the call, we will increment the child count and also we will be making the parent of 4 equals to 3. So we will make a call to this 4. Now when we reach to this 4, the time is 4. So the discovery time is 4 and low time is also 4. Timer will increase and at this 4, our C value will be equals to 0. Now from this 4, there are no outgoing edges. The only outgoing edge is from 4 to 3, but 3 is the parent of 4, so we won't do anything. Now we will check if 4 can be an articulation point. It won't be an articulation point since this is not a root. Case 1 will not be applicable. This is a non-root node. And also for the non-root nodes, there should be at least one subgraph which is having low value greater than equals to the discovery value of this 4, which is also not applicable. So we will backtrack to this 3. Now at 3, we will update the low value of 3. So the low value of 3 will be minimum of low value of 3, comma, the low value of 4, which is 4. So it will remain as 3. Now we will check if 3 is an articulation point. Now you can see that there is a subgraph of 3 which is having low value greater than equals to the discovery time of this 3. So that is why this 3 will be marked as an articulation point. So we will mark it as true. Okay. Now we will explore the other paths. From 3, we will explore this 5. So before exploring it, we will increment the child count because this 5 is unvisited. And now we will make the parent of 5 as 3. And now we will go to this 5. The timer is 5. Therefore, the discovery time is 5 and also low value is 5. So timer will increment to 6. Now the C value will be assigned as 0, that is child count is 0. Now from this node, there will be no outgoing edges. Only outgoing edges from 5 to 3, but 3 is the parent of 5, so nothing will be done. And similarly, as we explained for 4, 5 will not be an articulation point. We will go back to this 3. Okay. Now once we reach to this 3, again 3 is an articulation point, so we do not need to check it again. We will only update the low value. The low value of 3 is 3 and the low value of 5 is 5. So it will remain as 3. Now from 3 we will backtrack to this 0. Now once we return from this node 3, then we will check if 0 is an articulation point. Now 0 is a root node and the child count is greater than 1, that is it is equals to 2. Therefore this will suffice case 1 and this 0 node will be an articulation point. So this will be marked as true. Now all the nodes in this graph have been visited at least once, and whatever is marked as true in the articulation point array will be the articulation points for this entire graph. So the articulation points in this case will be equals to 0 and 3. And since we are making just a single traversal of the graph, therefore the time complexity will be order of V plus E. I hope you were able to understand this tangents algorithm. Now let us have a look at the code. This is the code for finding articulation point using tangents algorithm, and this is an undirected graph. So I'll be making a call to find AP's tangent. Now this is the function. Here I have taken the discovery time, low and parent. All are having equal size equals to v, which is number of vertices, and this is the articulation point array, which is of Boolean type, and all will be assigned as false. Initially none of the points will be known to be an articulation point. Now we will make a DFS call and find out all the articulation points and mark them as true. After finding the articulation points, we will traverse this entire articulation point array and see whatever nodes are equals to true. If the node is marked as true, then that node will be an articulation point and we will simply print it. So I hope you got the understanding. Now let us look at this articulation point function. So this is the DFS call which we will be making. This node u is our current node. This is the discovery array. This is the low array, parent array, and the articulation point will be stored in this articulation point array, which will be a Boolean type. Now as I will make a call, I will initialize time equals to 0. This is a static variable. This means that it will only be initialized once throughout the program and then it will get ignored. So it will be initialized only once to 0. Now as I have shown in the dry run, discovery time and low time will be initialized as equals to time, because initially you do not know anything about the back edges. Now timer will instantly be incremented by one value, and children will be marked as 0 for this node u, because we have not explored any of the subgraphs. Now we will start exploring the subgraphs. So our adjacent nodes will be stored in this v. Now we will see if v is already visited. If it is not visited, then that means v is a child of our node. So we will increment the children count and we will make parent of v equals to u. After doing that, we will make the DFS call again for the subgraph. After returning back from the DFS call, we were updating the low value of the current node u, which will be equals to low at u equals to minimum of low at u comma low at v. With this I have already explained in my previous video on tangents algorithm, which is for strongly connected components. Now after updating the low values, this is case 1 check, where we were checking if the current node u is a root node, and if it is having more than one number of subgraphs, then obviously this root node will be a articulation point, because if you remove it, then there will be at least one component which will get created, and that is why we will mark it as true. Now this is case 2, which indicates that if your given node u is not a root node. So in this case, if u is not a root node, then there should be at least one subgraph which is not having any back edge to any of the ancestors. If there is a back edge, then that subgraph will not contribute to make this u as an articulation point. Okay, so this also I have already explained. And if this node v is already visited, then this indicates that this node v must be an ancestor of u. So as I said earlier, this v should not be a parent of u, because we will not be taking the immediate edges, because whenever we are calculating for any node, then that node is assumed to be removed. So if you just take the adjacent ancestors, it will not be beneficial in order to find articulation point. So we will be ignoring the edges to parent, and if it is not a parent, then obviously this will be an ancestor, and then we will be updating the low values. So these reasons I have already explained in the theory part. So this is the entire algorithm, and this will be taking order of v plus e time, that is single traversal of the graph, in order to find all the articulation points present in the graph. I hope you were able to understand it. If you have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you in our next video. Thank you.